Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As y'all can see by the title of today's video, we got the top 5 most underrated builds in NBA 2K20. I'm here to show y'all some gems, straight up. So, first and foremost, we're going to start with the number 1 most underrated build, and we'll work to 2, 3, 4, 5 from there. I hope y'all enjoy the video. If you do, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on them noties, all that good stuff. And let's try to get this to 500 likes in the first 24 hours. But anyway, without further ado, we're showing you the number 1 most underrated build in my opinion, and that is the 3-point playmaker with good defense, minimal finishing, and there's 2 different ways I'm going to show you how to make this, okay? So the first one is literally the most extreme of extremes, okay? So I don't really recommend to make it like this, but if you play with an inside big, then this could actually be a really good pair. But like I said, we're going to show 2 different ways how to make it. You can see this first one, we go really extreme on the shooting, playmaking, and defense. Now, like I said, the only way I would recommend to make a build like this is if you play with strictly inside bigs, because obviously you're not going to need to be in the paint too often if you got somebody that's going to be, you know, their end destination is always going to be the paint. So again, this is a really good pair to the inside big. At the end of the day, you can choose sharp takeover, that's still a really good one, or even playmaker is still a solid one as well. But you're going to see the key to getting this lock takeover that I'm going to show you on the second one, which is really original and different. And again, shout out to my homie Kitchen, he put me on how to make this build. This is one of my favorite builds to run with as far as a duo goes, whether it be 3v3 or 2v2, because the versatility is so great. Like, it can defend well, it could guard corner with the rim sharps if you wanted it to, it can still guard ball pretty solid. Now, you're going to see on this part, I'm kind of just showing two different variants you could do for the finishing. So you could either get the 70 driving layup so that you can get the long athlete package, which makes the hop dunks all that much better, but I don't know how good that would actually be with low driving dunk, so I'm not gonna go out on a limb and just suggest something stupid like that. So we're gonna go ahead and just go minimal on that and just go into the driving dunk so you can get 70. Now, we dropped the weight down a little bit. 178 is the highest you can go without losing anything, so I just go to that. And again, if you go max wingspan right here, you get lock takeover. That is super original, super different, and this build, just in general, whichever of the 2 ways you make it, is mad underrated in my opinion. So again, I do think sharp takeover is still really good, especially in the situation where you would want this build where you play with a good inside big. And again, what this build brings to the table as far as defense goes is beautiful. I mean, it still gets like really good defensive rebounding, block, into your defense, all that stuff, keeps up with guards really well as far as, like, you know, the new meta is slashing guards, and to have a build like that is really nice in my opinion. Now, the number 2 most underrated build in my opinion as well is going to be something that pertains to the exact same thing, but it lacks playmaking a little bit, but it has more defense. So we got the 2-way sharp. We're going to make it almost the same exact way where we go 6'5". I do recommend to go high on the wingspan again. I just feel like a lock with low wingspan is not even a lock in the first place, and wingspan is super important in this game. You can't convince me otherwise. But anyway, we're just building this in the right situation here. You're going to see what the best way to build this in my opinion would be to just go really low on the O board and then invest a lot into your, you know, like other perimeter defense type stuff and into your D. Don't get me wrong, like I said, into your D is mad important as well, but you're gonna see we can go really high on this driving dunk as well. Same exact situation though. I'm not sure what to, you know, prefer, whether it's the 70 driving layup and 70 driving dunk to where you can get really good hop dunks on top of that and you only have 1 finishing badge. And I really do think the hop dunk ability would really separate you. So again, I do recommend to go with that 70 driving layup right there. And you're going to see that this, you know, difference you could make would just be whether you put it into your defense or driving dunk. You're seeing it's just a 5 difference. It doesn't change any badges or anything. So I'm just showing you the 2 different ways to do that. But again, 6'5", I highly recommend any guard to be 6'5", just to the fact that you get such higher block rating, such higher into your defense rating, literally just for going taller. And again, I understand you lack the ball handling ability a little bit, but the fact of the matter is, in 2K20 nowadays, it takes speed to run pick and roll. It doesn't take ball control. When the game relied on 86, 87 ball control to be able to do the behind the back, and that was literally your crutch as far as dribbling goes, that was what made you. And I understand, you know, like, you wanted to have at least 86 ball control so you could do that stuff, but nowadays, like I said, the game is so built on pick and roll and speed, or just ISO with an outside big man. So again, I just recommend at this point in the game, you don't really need ball control all that much, and I would recommend to go with more defense in that situation anyway. So again, that was the number 2 most underrated build in my opinion. It's best used as a secondary ball handler in 3v3. It's not really meant to play the 2s just because of how much it lacks playmaking, and it is tough to like make that work. So again, it's mostly meant to be a secondary ball handler and a good lockdown build, good shooter, all that stuff. It's a very reliable build, and again, I just think the versatility that it brings to the table is really nice. Now, the number 3 most underrated build in my opinion, we got the corner spot up slash lock. So you saw this maybe when Nut was playing against Nade in their little series like about a month ago or so, and his teammate, I think it was Alex DF, he has this build right here, but I'm not sure if he built it the way I built it here. So the way I'm showing you, I think, is ridiculous. Now, don't be wrong, to only have 11 finishing badges is pretty tough, but I'm gonna give you a little glimpse and screenshot of this right here. So note, I also made it a point guard, so you get things like floor general on top of that too. So if you play 3v3, that's really nice for your point guard to have an additional 3 points to his ball handling and 3-point shooting and all that stuff. So again, to be able to rock something like gold floor general and silver dimer would be pretty clutch for your teammates. Or if you don't want to do that, you could have still gold quick first step and stuff like that too. Maybe bronze dimer and bronze bailout, whatever you want. Anyway, 5 playmaking badges is really ideal, and the fact that you can still get that with a high ball control on top of that too. And the key to this build is the fact that it can still shoot. So anyway, I'll resume the clip again. But 23 defensive badges, you get Hall of Fame finishing badges, but you do only get 11. I understand that is the one really tough thing about this, but you still have 95 driving dunk. Now, a quick comparison, this build obviously draws the pure lock point guard. The perimeter defense and steal are very similar. The lateral quickness is a bit lower than the pure lock, I will say, and the physicals are all pretty similar too on top of that. But obviously, like I said, the thing that separates this build is you get 3 more shooting badges than the pure lock would. You actually get the playmaking badge spread on top of that, and like I said, you get 95 driving dunk with Hall of Fame finishing badges. Now, like I said, 11 is not the most beautiful thing, but like I said, it's still very doable. But anyway, I would recommend to go 6'5 or 6'6 with this. I ended up showing what 6'6 eventually looks like, and you see you lose a lot of vertical when it comes to that, but it's all good at the end of the day. I feel like to have more height and more versatility when it comes to this defensive stuff, if your true role is to be a lockdown defender, because that's what I would assume this build will be, like I said, 6'6 I think would probably be the move. It'd probably help you with the finishing a little bit too on top of that, at the fact that you only lose 1 driving dunk anyway. And you can make up for the lack of vertical and acceleration by just shrinking the weight. Now, I will say, if, like I said, obviously, if you're locked, I recommend to go high on the wingspan. I wouldn't ever be a lockdown with low wingspan. And this is the tough decision too. If you want to have fun and you plan to play 2s a lot more often, I'd probably say slash takeover. If you plan to be a true role player when it comes to the 3v3 stuff, I'd say lock. But lock is really hard to activate and pop on. So at the end of the day, slash takeover, they're both very good when it comes to the attributes being boosted and the effect that it has. But like I said, lock is a little bit hard to pop on and just activate. So anyway, moving along to number 4, we got the slash lock as well, but in a little bigger, like a big man sense. So this is my personal build. As a lot of y'all know, it's the red and blue pie chart right here. You get defense and finishing. Now, here's what we do differently, okay? So this is still a small forward, so you can get like all 3 contact dunk packages on top of that. You can still get good playmaking too, because if you go with the big man, you get more defense and maybe more finishing too, but you don't get much playmaking at all. You'd have to put it into things like post moves, and I don't want to put things into post moves, okay? I want to be a cool hybrid big man that can still handle the ball pretty well, and that's what this build truly is. Now, here's what I did differently with this one, and I'm gonna pause it and just kind of explain. So I did everything on here the same except for a couple key situations. So my steal was a lot lower. I had 21 defensive badges, and then on top of that, I had more post hook to get me to 20 finishing. What I've come to realize is that 1 finishing badge is not worth it. I would much rather have the steal rating itself, and I always told my subs too. I was like, yo, you know what I would do differently is I just wouldn't upgrade any 3-point shooting so I could get more playmaking or more defense. The fact of the matter is, I would still want my 3-point shooting. Now, the main reason for that is because if I hit legend, boom, I'll have 11 shooting badges, boom, all of a sudden I can shoot. But no, some people can still make it work with 1. I would say though, if you're a novice, to still knock that 3-pointer down anyway, just because it doesn't really make sense to. But again, you see, we actually get a lot higher steal rating than I normally have, and that is a major key. To have another defensive badge on top of that too, but like I said, the biggest thing is to have that extra steal rating, because I really do miss having that in my main build. But again, you're gonna see, I show 2 different situations you can make this. 6'8", I'm gonna explain too. If you want to make it 6'8", I would recommend maybe go mid on the wingspan so you could have a lot more fun and be able to get the 70 ball control at 99.9. But realistically, that's not something that's, you know, A, worth having happen, or B, like going to happen all that easily anyway. So again, I would probably recommend to just go 6'9" anyway, and then max the wingspan out, go slash takeover. This build is a really fun hybrid build, like I was telling y'all. If you're new to the channel, this build is really capable of taking it on its own into the hoop and doing that really well, but on top of that, being a really good big man as far as the screen setting goes, protecting the rim, mobile backside defender. It's a great build. Now, this build right here, it's not the best one on this list, it's definitely not, but I do want to explain. It is a bit underrated in my opinion. So we got the power forward pure finisher pie chart, and I really stress that power forward. It's the only way to really make all these ratings and badges like click the right way. So the thing that makes this, like, you know, worth making is going to be the fact that you upgrade shooting. So on a pure finisher, you can still get 10 shooting badges. That's actually pretty insane. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty wild. So what you're also gonna see that I did here is still get 5 playmaking. If I were with this build, I would really want gold quick first step on top of that. As a slasher, to have quick first step is super essential. And what y'all are really gonna doubt me on is the fact that I don't upgrade close shot. Now, you can sit here and say that all you want, but again, I'm just gonna sit here and doubt the fact that anybody would make this build, whether it A, lacks shooting ability, or B, lacks any like playmaking badges. So again, this is the way I would make it. I'm just gonna sit here and explain this to y'all. Like I said, if you want to drop that playmaking badge down to 5 and get more perimeter defense too on top of that, feel free to. If you want no perimeter defense at all and you put it into close shot, so be it. But I don't really find close shot to be all that important when I'm a slasher, because all I'm doing is catching lobs, dunking, or, you know, if it's a layup, then it's already probably missing anyway. So that's the way I see it. But again, I'm just showing a couple different height sets that you could do this at. Like I said, this is a power forward. Now, here's the cool thing about this. You go 6'8" on this build instead of the slash block. Here's the thing, you can go max wingspan, you still end up with 66 ball control. At 99.9, you get 71. At 99.0, you get 70. And that is a beautiful combination, y'all, like for real. You can shoot the ball, you can dribble with pro dribble moves, and then on top of that, you don't have horrible defense either. And like I said, solid playmaking for gold quick first step. This is a really solid build right here. And I know it doesn't really compare to the other 4, but like I said, this is mad underrated in my opinion. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on them noties, all that good stuff. Let me know a couple underrated builds in your opinion, or maybe your #1 most underrated. And like I said, if y'all enjoyed the video, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on them noties, all that good stuff. Let's try to get this to 500 in the first 24 hours. Y'all have been killing it on these last 2 videos as far as the views and likes and comments and all that stuff go, and I really appreciate that. I'll go ahead and just talk for a little bit because I know we're at the end of the video. And again, if you made it to this point in the video, put finisher in the comments to show your support that you made it all the way through. But I'm going to talk for like a minute. So I almost came to grips with ending my daily streak. For those of you who don't know, this marks 180 videos in a row, like daily, that I have done. And it's been a grind, yo, for real. Like I spend a lot of time daily working on this stuff. I do my own thumbnails for the most part. I edit all my own videos. I've done all my mixtapes that I've done in the past too, and it's a lot of daily work. Obviously, I'm still Elite 2 on top of that too. So just understand, there's a lot of time and effort that goes into this stuff, and I don't take any of this opportunity that I've been given for granted. I am constantly grinding at this stuff too. So again, I just wanted y'all to know I was maybe considering ending the daily streak here because I just wasn't sure if I was up to recording this video. It's been there's a lot of stuff that goes into this, and it's just a lot that weighs on my mind, and just constant like daily grind. But I love it. I enjoy the daily grind, and you know, got to keep that Mamba mentality moving forward. Like I said, whenever I'm in doubt, I just be thinking of Kobe and what he would do, and keep that Mamba mentality moving. But again, I really appreciate y'all constantly showing support and just always being here for me, and I really do appreciate that, for real. Like from the bottom of my heart, thank you. So anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed the vid. And other than that, take it easy, man. Peace.